Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Cat, the place where you listen, learn, and master English conversation. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Tom. Hello, everyone. It is great to be here with you today.
Today, we have a very special episode. We are going to talk about a huge topic. We are talking about life in America.
That is right. Many of our listeners dream of visiting the USA, studying there, or maybe even living there one day. But, Sarah, America is a big place. Is life there really like the movies?
That is a great question, Tom. Sometimes it is, but often it is very different. Today, we are going to explore the reality. We will talk about jobs, education, lifestyle, and of course, money.
This is perfect for our listeners who want to practice their listening skills. Remember, we will speak slowly and clearly. If you hear a difficult word, don't worry, we will explain it.
Exactly. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, relax, and let's start our journey to the United States.
Sarah, let's start with the basics. Lifestyle. When people think of America, they think of big cities like New York or Los Angeles. But where do most people actually live?
That is a common misconception. While cities are popular, most Americans live in the suburbs.
The suburbs. Could you explain that word for our listeners?
Sure, the suburbs are the residential areas outside of a big city. Imagine a city center with tall buildings and offices. Then you drive for 30 minutes and you see houses with gardens, quiet streets, and schools. That area is the suburbs.
Ah, I see. So instead of living in an apartment in the sky, people live in houses with a backyard.
Yes, the backyard is very important in American culture. It is a private grassy area behind your house. People use it for barbecues, playing with their dogs, or just relaxing. It represents privacy and space.
Space seems to be a big theme in America. Everything is bigger, right? The cars, the roads, the food portions?
Yes, that is true. We love our space. In America, we value independence and convenience. For example, in most of the US, you really need a car to survive. Public transportation, like buses and trains, is good in big cities like New York, but in the suburbs, it is almost impossible to live without a car.
That is very different from Europe or parts of Asia. What about the people? Are Americans friendly?
Generally, yes. Americans are known for being very open. We like small talk.
Small talk. That is when you talk about unimportant things with strangers, right?
Exactly. If you're standing in line at the grocery store, the person behind you might say, "Wow, it is so cold today, isn't it?" Or, "I love your jacket." They are not trying to be your best friend, they're just being polite.
That is good to know. In some cultures, talking to strangers is strange, but in America, it's normal.
It is very normal. We also smile a lot. If you make eye contact with someone on the street, it is polite to smile or nod your head.
Okay, so Americans are friendly, they drive cars, and they live in the suburbs. What about food? Is it all hamburgers and fries?
Well, we do love burgers, but America is a melting pot.
A melting pot. That is a great B2 level phrase. What does it mean?
A melting pot means a place where many different people and cultures mix together. Because of this, our food is very diverse. You can find excellent Mexican food, Chinese food, Italian food, and Indian food in almost every town.
So the lifestyle is about convenience, diversity, and space. But I have heard that Americans are always busy. Is that true?
Sadly, yes. That brings us to our next topic work.
Okay, let's talk about working in America. We often hear about the American dream. Is it easy to find a job?
The job market in the US is competitive. We have a culture of hustle.
Hustle. That means working very hard, right? Pushing yourself to succeed.
Yes. In America, your career is a very big part of your identity. When you meet someone new at a party, the first question is usually, "So, what do you do?"
They ask about your job immediately?
Immediately, we define ourselves by our profession, and the work schedule can be tough. The standard is 9 to 5, which means working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. But in reality, many people work much more than that.
Do they get paid for the extra time?
That depends. If you are an hourly employee, yes, you get overtime pay. But if you are a salaried employee, you do not.
I see. So if you have a salary, you might work late nights and weekends without extra money.
Exactly. And unlike in many European countries, vacation time is short. In the US, the law does not guarantee any paid vacation time.
Wait, really? 0 days?
By law, yes. However, most professional companies offer paid time off, or PTO. A typical American worker might get only 10 to 14 days of vacation per year.
Wow, that is not very much. In my country, we get 4 weeks.
I know, I'm jealous. This is why Americans are often stressed. We work a lot, but the salaries can be very high compared to other countries. We will talk about money later, but generally, you earn more, but you work more.
What about benefits? Does the job pay for your doctor?
That is the most complicated part of American life: healthcare. In America, healthcare is not free, it's very expensive. Most people get health insurance through their employer.
So your job protects your health?
Yes, it's part of your benefits package. If you lose your job, you might lose your health insurance. This makes finding a good job very important.
I understand. It sounds high pressure. What do you need to get a good job?
You need a good resume, of course, but you also need networking.
Networking means meeting people to help your career, right?
Yes, there's a saying: it's not what you know, it's who you know. Americans use sites like LinkedIn a lot to find connections. To get those good jobs, you usually need a good education.
Let's move to our next topic, schools. How does the system work?
It starts with K-12. That stands for kindergarten through 12th grade. Elementary school, ages 5 to 10. Middle school, ages 11 to 13. High school, ages 14 to 18.
High school is very famous in movies. The yellow buses, the lockers, the cheerleaders. Is that real?
Yes, it is mostly real. Public schools are free and funded by the government, taxes. Most students go to public schools. You take the yellow bus, you have a locker in the hallway, and sports are huge.
Sports are important in school?
Incredibly important. In American high schools, being on the football or basketball team makes you popular. The whole town might come to watch a high school game on Friday night.
And what about the big dance, the prom?
Oh, prom is a major event. It is a formal dance at the end of the year for older students. Girls buy expensive dresses, boys wear suits or tuxedos. It is a cultural ritual.
It sounds fun. But after high school, things get serious. Let's talk about college and university.
First, a quick vocabulary note. In the US, We use the words college and university to mean the same thing. We usually just say, I'm going to college.
Even if it's a big university like Harvard?
Yes, we still say, I'm in college. Now, the American university system is excellent, perhaps the best in the world, but it has one huge problem.
Let me guess. It is expensive.
It is incredibly expensive. Tuition, which is the fee you pay to study, can cost between $10,000 to $60,000 per year.
Per year? That's a fortune. How do young people pay for that?
Some have wealthy parents. Some get scholarships, which is money given to good students that you don't have to pay back. But most students take out student loans.
Loans? Meaning they borrow money from the bank or government?
Yes, and they have to pay it back with interest after they graduate. This is a big burden for many young Americans. They start their working life with a lot of debt.
That connects back to the hustle culture we talked about. You need a high-paying job to pay back your school loans.
Exactly, it's a cycle. But the college experience is also considered a very fun time. Students usually live in dorms,
What is a dorm?
short for dormitory. It's a building on campus where students live together. Usually, you share a small room with another person, your roommate. It teaches you how to live with others and be independent.
We have talked about expensive healthcare and expensive tuition. Let's talk about money in general. Is the US expensive to live in?
It depends entirely on where you live. We call this the cost of living. If you live in New York City or San Francisco, it's incredibly expensive. Rent for a small apartment could be $3,000 a month.
3,000 for 1 month?
Yes, but if you live in the Midwest or the South, places like Ohio or Texas, you might rent a whole house for $1,000. So, location is key.
Let's talk about paying for things. I heard that Americans rarely use cash.
That is true. We are a plastic society. We use debit cards and credit cards for almost everything, even for buying a cup of coffee.
And credit scores are important, right?
Very important. A credit score is a number that tells banks how responsible you are with money. If you pay your bills on time, you have a high score. If you have a high score, you can buy a house or a car easily. If your score is low, life is very difficult.
Now, I have a very important question. It confuses every tourist. Tipping.
Ah, yes, tipping. This is a big culture shock. In America, when you go to a restaurant, a bar, or get a haircut, you must leave a tip.
Is it mandatory? Is it a law?
It is not a law, but it is a strong social rule. Waiters and waitresses are paid a very low wage, sometimes only $2 or $3 an hour. They rely on tips to survive.
So if I buy a meal for $20, how much extra should I pay?
The standard is 20%. So if your bill is $20, you should leave $4 extra. If you don't leave a tip, the waiter actually loses money. It is considered very rude not to tip.
20% is a lot.
It is. But you also have to remember sales tax. In America, the price you see on the sticker is not the final price.
What do you mean?
If a shirt says $10, when you go to pay, it might be $10.80. The tax is added at the cash register. It catches many visitors by surprise.
Wow, Sarah, we have covered so much today. We talked about the suburbs, the hustle at work, student loans, and tipping.
It sounds intense, doesn't it? But living in America is also full of opportunity. There is a lot of optimism here. People really believe they can change their lives.
Before we finish, let's review some of the key vocabulary we used today. Listeners, try to repeat after us.
First word, suburbs.
The residential areas outside of a city. I live in a quiet house in the suburbs.
Next, melting pot.
A place where different cultures mix together. New York is a melting pot of cultures.
Next, salaried.
Getting a fixed pay per year, not by the hour. He's a salaried employee, so he doesn't get overtime pay.
Next, tuition.
The money you pay for university classes. College tuition is very expensive in the US.
Finally, tipping.
Giving extra money to service workers. Don't forget to leave a 20% tip for the waiter.
You did a great job listening today. This was a long episode, but understanding American culture helps you understand the English language better.
If you enjoyed this English Cat podcast, please let us know. Do you prefer these long episodes or shorter ones?
And tell us in the comments, is life in your country similar to life in America? Or is it totally different? We want to hear from you.
Thank you for studying with us. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep curious.
See you next time on English Cat. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.